Well, here we go again. That time of year, coming to an end, beginning of a new year. And I'd like to say Merry Christmas to everyone, and I hope you all have a fantastic new year. As for W.H.I.T and what we'll be doing in this coming year is hopefully getting out there with the reports I've been getting in and going to the areas to investigate, do overnight vigils, and get as much of what we can on record, meaning on video, so you can watch what we're going to be doing this upcoming year. There's quite a few things that we're working on at the moment, which we can't really talk about, because these are people coming to me who don't want it getting out there. So sometimes it looks as though we're not doing anything, but we're actually working behind the scenes, working with people who don't want their information getting out there. They don't want their account getting out there. So sometimes when it does seem quiet, we're still there in the background, looking into the accounts we've been asked to look into. So recently we've had a few groups getting in touch who do similar things to what we do, and they've asked us, they've invited us to go down to their areas and investigate with them. In spring, when the weather's a little bit better, we're hoping to get up to Grisdale and investigate the area around there. The reports of the Bigfoot around the Grisdale area, where we had a fisherman who's just recently come forward with an account, which you can watch on my channel, talking about what happened to him in and around Windermere and the Grisdale Forest there. When the weather gets better, we're going to go up there and do a bit of a overnight or maybe 2 nights of camping in the area and looking around the area for any evidence of anything like this creature, what this creature might leave behind. What I am hoping for this year as well, this coming year, is to maybe let some of you subscribers who are local, or maybe who can get to around Winterhill, to come out with us, and while we're doing an overnight camp somewhere around the Winterhill, to come along with us and spend the night with us. If anyone's interested in that, you're more than welcome to come along. If you've got all your camping gear and stuff like that, all you need to do is get in touch with me and we can make arrangements. We probably will be at some point going over to Benton again and doing our yearly outing there. Hopefully we might do a few extra days, and then rather it being a rush over 3 days trying to do this, that and the other, if we could do it maybe a 5 days or 7 days, and then we can gradually go to other places around that area that we've not been to, which we would like to go and have a look at. There are a few places around Rivington which I've become quite interested at the moment, with people getting in touch and saying they're finding things around that area. I'm not going to really give much out because I'm still ongoing with that investigation. So keep your eye out for that as well, and see what comes out of that one. For the past 12 months we've had really, really rubbish weather. We've had a lot of rain, which as anyone who walks up on any moorland will realise that walking around these areas when it's too wet can be dangerous. So I try and get up there when it's drier weather, even if it's just cloudy, and I wait a few days after the rains have settled, because it can get very dangerous walking these areas. So I've been trying to get to the areas where all the old burial mounds are, and where we have maybe a few standing stones and areas like that, to look for possible evidence of anything unusual in them areas happening, or if I see anyone walking around these areas asking questions, whether they've experienced anything around these areas, because sometimes being out there and just talking to people who are around these places and just explaining what I do, they sort of open up and they start like saying, you'll just start off with, well, not really into that, I don't really believe that. And then they'll say things like, but, this happened to such a body who I know, or, well, I don't really believe it, but this happened to me, and, they'll come out with a story. And I like doing that, I like talking to people around these areas, just to get reactions of what they say and any experience of what they might have had. So I do like going sort of in the middle of nowhere on the moors, where we get a lot of walkers and sometimes fell runners just jogging along. There's places where you can sit every so often where there's maybe a stone wall that's been made into a bench, and you can sit there and people will come and go. And if they see you with filming equipment, like sometimes I have my filming equipment with me when I'm out there, if they see me, they'll come over and talk and they'll ask questions, and that's when I start asking them questions. And sometimes I get very surprised at what they say back to me. So yeah, that is what I've been doing for the last 12 months when I'm up there, is just chatting with people, getting accounts from people. It might only be a few sentences, like that. This whole light going from one end, Winterhill to the other, but that's it. It's an account from someone who really doesn't have an interest in any of this, but they'll just come out with them little gems every so often, or what I class as little gems of information that I can take on board. So again, at the end of all this chatting, I'd just like to say, wish you all a really Merry Christmas, and again, have a fantastic New Year, and we'll see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please share everything what we have, so we can get all our stuff out there. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.
Well, hello! Are we doing you alright? Merry Christmas to you all. Well, you've just seen Mick there in headquarters, the main headquarters, and well, you'd think he would put a Whit jumper on, wouldn't you? Look a bit more festive. I know he's full of balls round him and leaves and bushes, but you think he'd get a little bit of a t-shirt on or something. Come on, Mick, come on. Anyway, as you see, I'm actually going to cover for him because I'm fully kitted out. There you go. Merry Christmas to you all. Right, first of all, what I'm going to do is take this off because I'm absolutely lathered. There you go. But yeah, there's the festive spirit for you. Put my readers on. They're my readers. You might be able to see the UFO actually now because I think that Atlas covered it. But anyway, yeah, like I say, long time no see. How we doing? You alright? But what about this weather? Pants. It's been absolutely, it's just been crazy. Absolutely madness. I mean, my job, valeting, I think I'm going to start valeting boats because every bugger's going to have one, I'm sure. This rate, I mean, it's raining again today. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, I hope you're all well. Sorry for, the short break, but it's just been crazy. Like I said, with the weather and everything, we can't really go out because of all the tech. You can't take anything out. I know Mick's been going about Winterhill, keeping local. I mean, it was a bit crazy the other week. I didn't know actually he was going at that time early in the morning unless, I could have. But things changed. I was called working and I didn't end up working. But, when it was out at 4:30 in the morning, 5:30, I can't remember exactly what time. I mean, it's lucky he didn't slip. You know what I mean? But, Yeah, because it is quite dangerous. If Mick would have slipped there and, you know, been on his own. So, yeah. But I hope you enjoyed his little bit of a walk around early in the morning, because I know I did, and I wanted to be there. But like I said, I could have been, but I was supposed to be working, and things changed, so I could have been. But you learn, don't you? You learn by things. Right, so yeah, so what's Whit been up to? Well, you've just seen Mick's little intro for the festive season. Cooch would have been in it, but she's just been on a family emergency. But, you know, she wishes you all well. You know, all the team do, to be honest. We wish you all the best. But basically, what Mick was on about really is, well, they first started off more or less by saying we are working on stuff, and Mick's really working on it at the moment, but it's stuff which, it's a bit sad really, because I've seen it and I take it a bit unfair on people who watch our channel, but we can't do nothing about it, because it's down to the witnesses, it's down to the people we're filming, taking stories off. We just, you know, you just nail to the ground, because you just can't speak anything about it, about even what we're doing, because they get a sniff of it, they'll just, you know, they'll shut you up. They might put a bad comment on the, you know, on Wit on Facebook or something. You don't know, do you? So you've got to be so careful. So, like I say, I try to get the news out, you know, best I can, but some of these things we're nailed down to. We just can't do it. I've put it to Mick, well, can we just? And Mick said no, because, you know, like I said, people get wind of it and it goes from one thing to another, and it gets, and then people find out. So we can't. It's, I'm sorry, but yeah, we're working on it. But it does help us in steps, because we've learned a bit from things what, you know, we've been, and Mick's been looking into, and Cooch as well. And when Mick tells me something, what's happened, and I think, haha, that answers a bit of a gap. A bit like Steve Mira's new channel, which I watched the other day, Steve Mira Official. Fantastic. Steve, if you watch this, absolutely, hat off to you. I mean, we're learning knowledge, what, you know, you've 30, 40 odd years of doing it, whatever, you know, you're a master crafter at it. You're learning off other master crafters like Paul Sinclair, Truth Proof, Barrel Fitzgerald, you know, I mean, Mark Ollie, brilliant. Mark Ollie, fantastic. Really genuine guy. If you didn't see any of the panel on Truth Proof, bob over and have a look. Last Thursday it was absolutely spectacular. It was fantastic. I noticed Paul didn't do a lot of speaking. I think Les put Digital Creations put more speaking in than Paul, I think, so that was something new. But yeah, hats off to you, Paul, and Les from Truth Proof. We hope 2024 from Wit, all the team, is going to be fantastic. We know we're always welcome anytime, which is absolutely amazing. Like I said, this year we're going to try and take it over a bit longer, where we usually go for a long weekend. That long weekend isn't a long weekend, because, you know, things happen, days get short, and you have to be out of the caravan by such a time. Like I said, last time when we did the audio, if you didn't see it in Dane's Dyke, nip back and have a look what we did. When W.H.I.T Cryptids was there, that night we were supposed to be going back the following night, but when we eventually got back to the caravan and looked at the time, we were getting kicked out at like 10 o'clock the more. It's just like, you know, you're tied down, you're nailed. So I said to the, you know, to the team, I said, look, come on, let's see if we can get a week out of it or something, you know, let's really grab it, and we can take things easy, we can sit down, you know, we can, like we did in one spot in Dane's Dyke, we sat down and we you know, we got a bit of, you know, actual research done in that way, because it was just, that's another thing I'll never forget with the parabolic. It was just fascinating. I can't wait to go back, to be honest. So yeah, so we'll be back down Benton, as Mick said previous. But I mean, the thing is as well, I mean, you've seen probably Mick's channel, I think it's the latest video he's done about Antlesark, about the big cat sighting. Another thing is, Mick had a bit more to that story, but they're not coming back to us. They're just not coming back. They give you half a tail and then they kind of, they shut up and we just can't get hold of them. It's just, you know, I mean, I hope, fingers crossed, this at Windermere and Glasdale, you know, I hope he comes back. I know he's a busy guy at the job he does, manual labour, but yeah, so fingers crossed for Glasdale. I mean, you know, Windermere, it's very, I mean, it's publicised now, and you know, Glasdale is a little bit quieter. You know, I went up there myself a few times on the back roads checking things out, and I did feel some. At one point, I did feel a sudden energy, and I went past the same corner again, right near Glasdale entrance, the main entrance, and I felt it again. Quite strange, but it was like a band. Felt more like a ley line, really, but you know, we'll look more into it, fingers crossed, when we get up there. So yeah, so there's a lot coming in 2024. Don't forget also the actual awakening. Oh, sorry, that's Finding Bigfoot. Sorry, wrong book. Yeah, thanks, Kaz, for buying me that. Thank you very much. We had a little bit of a meet up with Nat and Pete last week, and Kaz bought me a little present. Daz was there and his brother Mick. So yeah, so that was fantastic. And Nat and Pete, thank you so much for the food and the drink, what they supplied. Absolutely. Mwah. Fantastic. Yeah, so that's the awakening of last year, but go to the one on Facebook, the awakening page for February's, well, it's a single day really. So yeah, I mean, I'm not just going because there's top speakers there. I'm going because they've got really comfy chairs, according to Mick McLaren, in Bolton Hall. So I'm looking forward to that. My seat is waiting for me. So make sure you get yours and get the ticket for Bolton Hall in February. I don't think there's many left, to be honest. But yeah, so thanks Steve for organising that. Chris Turner, thanks so much. We know the effort what goes in is just unbelievable, getting the right people together. They don't just, you know, phone call in Britain, they come from America, they come from all over, so it's absolutely amazing, it's fascinating. So thank you for that, and we're really looking forward to it. So yeah, right, things I've got to talk. What I've been doing is really, like I said, I've been working, work, but I've also been doing stuff which you want to see. Now, what I did about a month and a half ago, I actually went and I bought this off eBay. Now, this was released in round about back end of, I think it was September 2002, and it's an actual Sony Cybershot night vision. Now, these were like £1,000 when they first came out. They were the bee's knees because they had a really good technique on them where you actually can move the camera from the barrel, which is absolutely fantastic. I mean, they did a few series of it. For examples, they did the F505, they did the F707, the 717, and then they did, I think the last one they did was the F828, which was black. I don't know why it's actually silver. Most of them, the 717s were silver, so I don't know why. But the thing about it was, when they brought them out, they recalled them all for some reason. So I looked a bit more into it, and the reason they brought them all back into the factory as a recall was they actually had night vision on them, which you could see through different kind of materials and, you know, different stuff. They could see through things, so they kind of said, well, the government, I don't know if got hold of it and whatnot, or Sony said, look, we can't have this, they're going to have to be on a recall. But somebody actually came out with the idea of, when you go in the daylight to put night vision on the actual screen, it says, sorry, night vision is invalid because it's obviously talking to the camera, it's daylight. But somebody came up with a hack, and if you put a magnet around this side of the barrel, you can actually have infrared in the daylight. And that's what they were really well known for, to be honest. So you have people taking infrared pictures in the daylight. Now, what I wanted to do is work with it a bit, and I don't know if you've actually heard as well. I wanted to mix it up a bit and look a bit more into it, because Leon, Do It Knows Where, first came out with this story, and it was on TikTok, and basically it was from the Vietnam War. Now, if you don't know anything about it, just put in Dyson goggles, night vision, Vietnam War on YouTube, and there's not much on it, but you'll see and you'll get a bit more information from it of what I'm talking about. Now, these were the Gen 1, the Generation 1 of night vision. So what they did is they gave them to the UE pilots and gunners, the UE helicopters in the Vietnam War. I mean, that's also as well. I mean, it's amazing, really, the Vietnam War, when you start looking into it, because things what they tested and that. I mean, they changed the weather pattern as well. Like you hear people say chemtrails, what a load of rubbish, but they actually did. What they wanted to do is change the weather for the Vietnam War to wash the roads away, to slow people down, vehicles down. You know, it's just amazing. I mean, Rain-X, what you put on for your windscreen on your car or your vehicle or whatever, that was made for the Vietnam War, Rain-X, because what they used to do is, you probably watch the films and you see it's always raining. And the reason was they made Rain-X for the UE helicopter screens, so the wipers weren't going all the time, and basically the speed they go at, it just blows off the rain, so they don't need the wipers on. So there was a lot of technology developed. So, I mean, they didn't really have that much technology, so what technology have they got now? It makes you think, doesn't it? But yeah, so the story goes was, these were the first gen, I'll just put this down, the first gen night vision goggles. Now, when you say goggles and you think, and what I've done is basically, I've got the Sony and I've mixed, so the actual colour, which I'll show on screen now, that's the actual colour of the Dyson dye itself, right? If you want to look at who found it and whatnot, you'll have to do your research, nip back and just have a look, you know, but basically it's fascinating really when you look into it. But yeah, so they actually made the Dyson dye into the night vision goggles. Now, when you say goggles, you think, where am I going to get some? Basically, you can't get them. For love nor money, you can't get them. I've read, like I said, the history of it, and I think a guy started coming back out with it in 2014. And straight away, the government got onto it, banned it. Now, why did they ban it? This is the thing. But the story goes that in the Vietnam War, from somebody who was in it at the time, one of the stories, the main stories, what always comes out of it, was a group of U helicopters were flying over a very quiet part of Vietnam in the dark. So they put the night vision goggles on, the gunner, and next thing, he started opening up fire. And they were firing at their own helicopters, which had to make a divisive move and move out of the way. And you know, you can imagine it's like, my God, you know, somebody on the actual front of the helicopter didn't have them on, or the captain or sergeant, whatever, said, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you firing it? What are you doing? There's nothing there." And he said, "Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is." He said, "There's demons coming from the top of the trees. I can see them." He said, "You can see them." And he said, what are you on about? There's nothing there. We're in the dark. He said, "Yeah, but I've got the night vision goggles on." He said, "And I can see demons." So this guy says, "Right, give me the..." And he saw exactly the same, apparently. Now, they actually stopped using them, and they went on to the actual green dye, which you see today. Now, like I say, it's fascinating, but the thing is, you know, it's like I said, and you start thinking into things, and I was talking to Mick the other night about it, and he's right, really, because you hear people and they say, "God, I heard it and I saw it, you know, a ghost or wherever, or I saw it, I heard it." But I know you've got the UE helicopter making a noise, but when these demons were seen, they were seen, but the pilots or the gunners never said they heard anything, like flapping winds, squawking or whatever, but basically they were seen into a different realm, is what is portrayed on the actual story. Now, the thing is, when you hear something like that, you think, yeah, come on, let's have a look more into it, like I said. So I did, and what I've come up with, I've made my own. These are probably nearest you can get to Dyson dye goggles. But the trouble is about them is, you can't wear them in the dark, there's no way, because there's no way of highlighting the actual eyesight, what you're seeing. But the actual colour, which I'll put on screen now, you'll see that the way it works is it blanks out the white spectrum of light. So basically, we have a big range of infrared and whatever and ever of light to bear, but we can only see a fraction of that. But when you put these in, this opens the range of your eyes a lot more to whatever, another actual realm or something like that. It's, you know, it's amazing really when you look into it. I mean, when you put these on in daylight, you still can't see. It has to be a really bright day. I mean, it's probably best, I've not tried it yet, but in somewhere where it's like snow, so it's actually, no, it's blocking the white out, but you need something bright to see out of them. So I've made them, but what I've actually done as well with the Sony, I've done the same thing. So can you see where I'm going? That I've made these to see in the actual daylight, which I'm going to test over the next few weeks, months, whatever. And because I've not tested them yet, I've just made them. I've actually fitted this colour into the night vision of the actual Sony. So what I'm trying to do now with the Sony, because it's a bit of an old tech camera, I'm trying to get it on a bigger screen. You'll see there, it's a very small screen, and you can hardly see when you're looking at it, but when you do see it, it's absolutely amazing in the daylight. And I'll put a picture up as well. There you go. So it is fascinating really. So I'm working on that. So even though you've not seen me, I am still working on things. I'll do a video when I start probably using them and whatnot, but I'm not gonna put them on and walk around like somebody silly. I'm only actually going to put them on when we feel like an energy or something around us, to see if there actually is anything, you know, any truth to the actual story. But all you can do is try it. So that's what I've done. But when you look at Diacean dye, the colour, and you've seen the colour before, you'll notice that it's not far off. So we might be getting somewhere. So stick with me and we'll see what we can do. So yeah, another thing I wanted to mention as well is what's with the actual felling of all these trees, which has started. Sycamore Gap. Also as well, I've mentioned Windermere. I've read this morning there's 100 took down on the Windermere coast, on the actual coastline. It's just unbelievable. I mean, these are protected trees and on protected land. And I've heard as well there's 100 come down in Devon, down south, which have been cut down in the dirt. Which, what's going on? I mean, you know, I know it's not paranormal, but it does actually affect us because we do go in them areas of woodland. But we shouldn't be taking trees down anyway. We've not got the rights to just go with a chainsaw, whatever, and cut them down. We're just not in that right. I mean, to be honest, the way I feel about it is they should be hung from her. You know, I mean, it's just absolutely inhumane. It's just crazy what's happening. It's like people are making their own law and their own rules and not getting punished. It's just unbelievable. But I don't know. So I'll look a bit more into that, see what's going on, but it's just not right. Not right whatsoever. Right, so basically, like I said, I've covered kind of everything really. I'm not going to, you know, gabble on and chit chat on. Like I said, Mick said it basically from the team that we wish you all the very best. We are working hard at it, but like I said, we're not working hard at the moment outside because, like I said, the weather is just shocking, absolutely shocking. It makes you think of are they playing about with the weather up there, because it's just never stopped. The ground's absolutely sodden. It's just crazy, crazy. But yeah, so I'll keep you up to date with things. Keep your eye on W.H.I.T on Facebook. Like you said, when, you know, the weather gets, fingers crossed, a lot better into probably, I don't know, the mid of next year. Mick said it, you know, send us a message, come with us camping, basically, come with us, you know, and we'll let you have a bit of a mooch around and do a bit of investigating yourself. But don't be frightened of us. We're very genuine, very genuine. I'll tell you how genuine we are, and this is a little bit of a shocker to you. Just before I go off, is basically, and it was an idea, and we were going to kind of keep it. I know I keep on about it, and Chris Turner's on with it, but you know, things are getting in the way of our film. We were going to put it in the film. Now, we took this a few months ago, and I'll just show you a video, and it's when I've got this camera I'm actually filming on, and I'm speaking to you now. So yeah, so that's when I got the camera, and we had at Liverpool Castle, we had the funny
by something and
ear,
bolted,
and I don't know how to explain it. But what I did is, I don't know if you go back and watch, we actually capture, and I think a couple of days later Mick went on his own with Carol Ann, and they found a quarry. But listen, if you didn't hear it, go back, listen to Mick sing, and it mentions about Lee Carter's strange image. Now, it is strange. It's mind-blowing. When I first saw it, you know, you're taking your photos while you're there shooting, and I came home on the Sunday and I looked through it and went, what's that? Straight away. So I got on the phone to Mick and I said, Mick, just have a look at this, I'm going to pass over you. And even Mick kind of fell off his chair. He said, right, I'll send it over, I'll send it to Steve Meara. I said, right, you do that. And I said, I'll send it over to Chris Turner. So that's what happened. Within an hour, Steve come back to Mick saying, you know, that is strange, because it's actually, there's no flash. The actual flash on this camera is over the top of it, so it doesn't actually pop up. The actual flash or light comes from my light, which I fitted, which I use for, so you can see me when I'm investigating. So there's no flash whatsoever. But if you look at it, and I'll put it on screen now, you'll see it's like it's made its own. When we first saw it, we thought, wow, that looks like you're seeing into another, I don't know, another realm of, I don't know, maybe the paranormal world, what runs along beside us, what people say, they think that's the way it works, and they nip into our and come out of it. And I thought, have I caught something there which is on the paranormal side? So I sent it off to Chris and said, Chris, have a look at this. Chris said, right, okay, what I'll do, he said himself, God, that is strange. But he said, what I'll do, I'll send it off to a friend. He said he does photo analysis and whatnot. Anyway, so we've got the results back. But the results are, if you look at it, you'll see kind of, when I first saw it, you'll see that it's actually made maybe two visions of pictures together. You know, it's got like maybe a car at the bottom, which Mick said looks like a Mini. You've got like a pathway going up to a castle with steps and a spire on top. You've got a tree with over the horizon. It's very strange. But basically, what happened was, when I went to Benton and we were looking into this proper, I lost, or I thought I'd lost the SD card, the original one I took that night, but I didn't. I lost my wallet, you see, in Benton, which I've never done before, and it's never ever turned up. I lost it at the campsite. But hey ho, things happen. So I thought, I'm absolutely gutted, Mick, I've lost the SD card. Mick went, well done, because it had all the original details on. I said, I know, shoot me dead. It's just one of them things. I said, but I give the SD card in my wallet, which you never do. I said, to give back to you at Benton. I said, but before I've given you the SD card, I've lost my wallet. So, but basically, the other day I was looking through and I came across a card which I thought, that looks familiar. Now, when I got the actual camera Spiro, it was in it. Now, unknown to me, I took the original picture at Liverpool Castle on that SD card. So I did actually have the original SD card. Result. So when I looked at it, the details which I'll put on screen, you'll see that it wasn't nothing. It weren't nothing paranormal, sorry. It was just a long exposure. The camera lens was open for, I think it was 30 seconds, but not 30 seconds. It's something like 3.0 seconds, which is still a long time. So it answers, it makes it look fantastic, but like I said, we're very genuine people, and we could have put it in the film and said, boom, there you go, look at that, that's paranormal. But we didn't. We wanted to do the research and find out proper. I mean, before I lost the SD card. I actually wanted to send the picture or go and speak to somebody or ring, Canon up and say, look, have you seen anything like this before? But it didn't need that because we ended up with finding the asteroid. But yeah, so you'll see the picture. It's on screen, and basically it's not paranormal, but it does look paranormal. But like I said, we're trying to get you the best evidence. And like I said, we're a very genuine team, is WIT, and we'll always look on the unparanormal side first, and then start mixing it. Could it be? Could it be? And then if it is, we go on the paranormal side to say that's unexplained. Let's look a bit more down that tunnel. Or like I said, we say no, it's not. Stop there. False alarm. It's not. It's just a big light exposure on the actual camera. You know. So like I said, we are genuine. And I'll leave it at that, to be fair. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. It's good to be back on screen anyway to keep you filled in with what's happening. There will be more stuff coming. Keep your eye on Facebook on WIT and this channel and Mick McLaren's channel. And also keep your eye on I Talk Cryptid channel, Steve Meara's official channel, Chris Turner Films channel, and Paul Sinclair's channel, and 401 Files to Ben, Happy Christmas Ben, and Colin Keaty, Dark 66. So just keep your eye on these channels. I can keep going and keep going and keep going, but you know, we're all trying to find the same answers. Keep crossing paths, and maybe one way we will find the same answer and connect and click and find more out to lead us a bit more up the paranormal path. But in the meantime, we'll keep knocking on the paranormal doors. From me, it's a Merry Christmas and a very big Happy New Year to you all. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and share. That would be great. And get us a little bit more down the paranormal path. We know you love watching it, so we're going to keep doing it. Okay, I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye for now, and thanks for watching.